What's going on, Sheepdogs? Fresh here, 221B Tactical. Today we are talking about our commander gloves. Full dexterity, level 5 cut resistance, and high impact knuckle protection. So these are hard knuckle protection gloves with concealed hard knuckle protection. And we're going to go into that in a second of why we decided to conceal it beneath our high abrasion resistant material on the back of the glove. So let's start off with the palm side. Level 5 cut resistance just on the palm side. Now, many of you know our full 360 degree cut resistant Guardian gloves used around the world by police, military, you name it. But a lot of people wanted a more robust amount of dexterity, if you would, on their gloves. And they didn't really have a concern for the cut resistant material on the back of the glove. They said, I'd rather have more dexterity, full dexterity, and only have the cut resistance on the palm because that was the area they were concerned with. So that's what everyone asked for. So that's what we did, and it came out to be a phenomenal glove with full dexterity, and you just have a great purchase on whatever it is you're gripping, whether it's a firearm, tools, what have you. So we'll go into that once again a little bit. So you have the high grip material here on the palm with this super grip that gives you even better grip even when they're wet. So if you have a wet weapon you're grabbing, you have a wet tool you're grabbing, you're gonna have superior grip here with this material on our palm. You'll see on the index finger and thumb, you have the ability to use your touchscreen device, phone, laptop, whatever it may be. And you have our stylus technology that doesn't just give you the touchscreen material on the pad of the fingers, but on the tip. So if you're typing with the tip of your finger, which a lot of people do, you're gonna have that ability. A lot of gloves that offer touch screen ability, they only give you that on the pad. Ours give it to you on the tip as well, kind of as a stylus. So you have that full cut resistance. We're gonna do a demo with the cut resistance in a second. We have our super sharp Vanquish tool. Let's go to the back side of the glove. So now here you have the flexible injection molded rubber that goes down the thumb and the finger. So all 5 fingers have that protection. You'll notice over here on the index finger that rubber is removed for obvious reasons. If you need to get that finger into a trigger, you don't want to have that obstruction. So you'll notice on all of our gloves that have that injection molded rubber, it's removed there. So you have that ability unobstructed for those of you using firearms. Now, you'll see here, you have the knuckle protection that's concealed. So if I just had my hand like this, maybe like this, you might not even be able to tell from this straight on angle. It just may look like my actual knuckles. But then if you look here, you'll see the height, and you can see the height of the knuckles. And that is that, now once again, we use a injection molded thermoplastic, if you would, that absorbs shock better than your typical just straight up hard plastic, because that hard plastic sends that shock into your bones. This, since it has some rubber incorporated into it, is gonna absorb some of that impact, which is what you want. Why we concealed it with our heavy duty material here, this high abrasion resistant material, is because some agencies cannot have the hard knuckles that are exposed, that actually show you. Sometimes you've seen the gloves, they're kind of green, or maybe they're tan, or even they're black, but the hard knuckles are like a piece of shiny plastic on top of the material that it's very evident that they're hard knuckle gloves. And those are, by these agencies' standards, too aggressive looking and too intimidating to the bad guys. So we don't want to intimidate the bad guys. So a lot of agencies requested a hard knuckle glove where the hard knuckles were concealed. So that's why we concealed it under this high abrasion resistant material, just for those of you wondering. So if that's a concern for your agency, this is a great option because it is concealed. It's not so visible. You have the understrap here, heavy duty Velcro underneath, closure, a lot easier, more ergonomic, a nice heavy duty pull here to pull the gloves on. You'll see this glove fits more like an athletic glove. I took that design from some of the gloves I wore from when I played football, some of the gloves when I wore when a batter playing baseball. Athletic gloves have a very particular fit, and they fit like gloves should fit, conform to your hands. However, we noticed that that wasn't really carried over to the tactical world. So what I did is when I designed these gloves, I actually designed them to more emulate those athletic gloves, wide receiver gloves, if you would, and it gives you a beautiful form fit. Now, there are nearly a dozen different materials that go into making this one glove. You'll see the material here is different from the material in between the fingers. It's different from the material on the top of the hand. That was done very intentionally to give you the best full dexterity fit that you can have in a glove like this that is essentially armor for your hands, okay? So let's talk about the protection end of it for your hand. Let's start out with blade protection. Most people said they only want it here. Now, our material here is going to give you some level of protection. However, this material on the palm is the EN 388 level 5 cut resistant material here. And that goes all the way down to the wrist cuff. So we have our Vanquish blade, which I'm going to kind of show you, kind of shave some nail off without taking my skin off. All right, just sharpened, always sharp, but Vanquish first responder tool. And I'm gonna go ahead and go at the hand. And you see fingers, palm, no matter where I slash, and you even have the ability in an emergency, you have someone coming at you, people are now attacking people with like butcher knives right out of the kitchen. And if you have the ability, if the situation calls for it, and you maybe need to grab that blade, you know you can grab that blade and wrestle it out of someone's hand without getting your tendons and fingers all sliced up and cut up, and your hand being severely injured. So a great option should you need. We're seeing a lot more knife attacks as of late. I don't know why, but a lot of people mentally ill, using knives, they can't access a gun, so they're getting the kitchen knife, the butcher knife. So if you have that situation, whether as a first responder or maybe even a civilian, for crying out loud, you have that option, if you know, to block that blade, and if you need to wrestle it out of that person's hand, you can't do that with traditional gloves. The blade in that wrestling will just go right through that non-cut resistant material and start cutting your tendons and your fingers and your muscle, and you don't want that. So there is the cut protection. Now you have your impact protection. This goes without saying. Now it's going to help against, let's see how hard. And you see how hard I could hit that. And you'll notice that on, once again, some of the gloves with the hard plastic knuckle protection, that hard plastic just sends that shock wave right through your hand down into the bones of your hand, and it might help maybe stop that impact, but man, it's going to really hurt those bones. Here, since we have some of that rubber incorporated in there that actually absorbs some of that blow, you could really hammer at it and it just dissipates that impact so nicely. And that's really what you want when you have a hard knuckle glove like that. And as you see, quick wipe off, and that heavy duty, high abrasion resistant material there. Perfect. So you have full dexterity, armor protection, level 5 cut resistance on the palm, and heavy duty protection on the backside. So we have a lot of people who are in their riot gear, SWAT team, things like that, that love these gloves. We have people who are riding motorcycles that love these gloves. And we have just regular everyday civilians that are just kind of working around their house and they want a good work glove that gives you good dexterity. And if they need to take out their phone and answer the phone or send a text, they can. It's the all-around glove. And you can do everything you can with the gloves on that you could do with the gloves off, because that's key. You want that full dexterity, because if you're working and you need to do something and your gloves now get in the way from you doing it, and now you have to take that glove off to do that task, what's the point of having the gloves on, right? You want to be able to get a pair of gloves that you can do everything without having to take them off. So Commander gloves, 221B Tactical, check them out. If you have any questions about these gloves or any of our other gloves, we have fluid resistant, winter thermal water resistant, canine, oil resistant work gloves, you name it. All of our gloves designed with the highest quality materials to the highest specs, and built to last, because if you're going to put a little bit more money out for a pair of gloves, they should last more than a couple of weeks, right? So our gloves are all designed to that degree. So if you have any questions, email our sales team, sales@221btactical.com. They're there 24/7 to answer your questions. If you're looking for something specific, like a specific color, custom color, or something like that, we do offer that. Just so call our sales team. Our number's all over our website. Call in, speak to one of our sales reps, and as long as the quantities are there, of course there's a minimum quantity, we can do custom colors, custom labeling on the wrist cuff for your agency, your squad, your organization, whatever it may be, we can do it so long as the minimums are there. So give us a call and they'll walk you through that. They know all the specs, they know all the details, and they'll give you pricing. And even if you just want the gloves as they are in the black, but you want bulk agency purchases. We've had entire agencies purchase this, and you kind of want to see if you can get a better deal. If you're buying 100 or 200 pairs, give a call to our sales team or email in and they'll take care of you. Most importantly, you got to take care of your hands. Your hands are your livelihood. If your hands go down, you could be out for weeks, months, or it could be the end of your career. So whether you're in law enforcement, first responder, security, military, or you're just working around the house, you're everyday guy working around the house, everyday woman doing some projects around the house, and you want to protect your hands so you're not out for the count, you got to protect them. Armor for your hands that still let you do the job that you're doing without getting in the way and not obstructing what you want to do. So more info on all our gloves at 221btactical.com. Most importantly, remember always when you're out there doing whatever you're doing, watch your six, watch their hands, because hands are what kill, and get home safe. We'll see you next time.